welcome to another video from theplayers8.com from where hello.
A little different angle, right?
We didn't do that so it didn't look too ridiculous because we're behind the Great Wall of coin games.
Trademarked.
Yep, TM. So, today, what we're doing is we're taking a look at a comparison. Well,
not really a comparison. This is our opinion.
This is your opinion.
Right. This is my opinion
of the ranking of the coin games.
Of the 8 volumes that are released. Yes.
And I'll rearrange and show mine here in a bit. People ask us this all the time. Which one's the best?
Right.
Which one do you like the best? Yeah. How would you order them? So we're caving and we're going to order them.
And we also probably could do a video on the playability and the difficulty or complexity level. I think this one we're going to focus on which ones we enjoy playing the most, right?
Because complexity and playability are part of that.
Oh, well, it is. It is.
Right, and we'll talk about how that factors into it. So I'm going to have you just kind of lead us off.
Okay.
And talk about your ranking that you've put out here.
Right. First off, it's very hard to do this.
Yes.
One, it's hard to do because I love them all.
Yes.
And you may look at this lineup and you may be saying, what the heck's wrong with that guy? And that's fine, right? This is my opinion.
Yes.
I would also say the ones on the left end here, we have played way more than we have the ones on the right end. And that's probably a reason that they're in this order. I've played them because I love them so much.
Yes.
Like Fire in the Lake, we've played over and over and over again. I could still play this one 500 times and be okay with it. Love, Liberty, or Death. So I love all of them, though. So please, Volko, don't be upset. And Andrew, that we have yours at the end. Brian, I love your 2 contributions to the series. Really love them. Jeff, I love yours too. Don't be offended, please. Don't be offended.
Yeah, this isn't good game, bad game.
Yeah, that's not what this is.
The coin games are all tip top.
Yeah, they're excellent.
So
yes, this is my order. As you can see, Fire in the Lake, Liberty or Death, Pendragon, Andean Abyss, Colonial Twilight, Cuba Libre, A Distant Plain, and Falling Sky. I like them all for different reasons. I think the reason Fire in the Lake is in my number 1 spot is, one, I really enjoy, Volko created the system. Mark is one of our favorite designers. So those 2 guys together really made a game that speaks to me. Not only do I like the Vietnam War and conflict, the history of it, the game is just fantastic. I love the events. I love how it tells the entire story, from the political side to the coups and assassinations, drug use, everything that affected the war, public opinion is in there. Love it. Liberty or Death has my number 2 slot, mainly because I love the Revolutionary War period. It's always been my favorite historical period. It's the establishment of our country and the defeating of, dare I say, the evil empire?
Yeah, you dare say it. You'd be wrong, but you dare say it.
Okay, I can say that. I just love it, and I thought Harold did a great job of capturing that period's fighting style. I loved the combat system in this one. Adding up all the factors, and then you rolled a die, and it added some hits. So it was just fantastic. Really, really enjoyed that. I also really liked how Harold took care to integrate the Native Americans into the story. Mm-hmm. They were a big part of it. There were many battles that were key to the overall. The frontier was key. And I just thought he did a great job. Morgaine, Guyan Rete, we love this game. This game was fantastic. We played this a year and a half ago for the first time.
Yeah.
And we just loved it. I fell in love with it immediately. Andean Abyss, we've just played recently. Ironically, the last game in the series. That we played. The first game in the series, but the one that we played last. I really enjoyed it. Really thought it was well done. Colonial Twilight, I love the visceral nature of the combat and the fighting. The tug of war. I really enjoyed that. It's a 2-player, so it's very different.
And it's 2-player only.
Yeah, it's only 2-player, and it uses that funky system to determine eligibility, which I thought was really cool.
It's very clever.
I liked to see that. Cuba Libre is just fun. you say it often, it's a knife fight in a phone booth. It's just fun. We've had a really good time with that one, enjoyed it a lot. I really feel like Cuba Libre and Andean Abyss are a similar type game.
One's just a much smaller version than the other, I think.
Yeah. A Distant Plain I really, really enjoyed. It's a more modern war, more in our recent past. And I think when we played that for the first time, I was like, yeah, I remember that event. I remember that happening. I remember that. I remember this.
Yeah, it's the cards and events in this, I get that feeling like I do from Labyrinth, where I'm like, oh,
I remember this.
Yeah, I remember seeing that on the news. Like,
yeah.
Which is fascinating to see in a game.
And Falling Sky, it's fantastic because it's an Ancients game where, Romans and barbarians fought, and it very well done. A little more on the complex side with the combat.
Yes.
I've struggled. I've played the Romans a couple of times, and I just struggle like crazy. Anyway, but a fun time. So this is my order, and it pains me to do this, but this is what I think of the coin series. I can't wait for the ones coming out this year and next year.
Yes.
They'll be up to 11 volumes at that point.
Yes.
Gandhi most likely will be very soon. All Bridges Burning, probably later in the year, and then I would assume People Power
maybe next year.
Maybe the first quarter of next year. I'm not sure, but they've all been being worked on for a couple of years. And then I'm looking forward to other volumes coming out.
Yes. That's the one thing that I can say, just looking at these ones here, let alone future ones.
Yeah.
This system is incredibly versatile.
Agreed.
And I think that's a credit to the original design.
Yeah, I think it can be applied to any conflict in history that has the elements that it focuses on, that counterinsurgency and really Pendragon didn't even really have much of that, right? It had some elements.
It was very different.
It was just very different.
Yes.
And we loved it. I loved the use of terrain in that one. There were just so many good things. I don't know. So that's my list. Whether you agree or not, that's the way I rank them.
Yes. What I'll do is I'll just rearrange here real quick. So,
the magic of...
yes, the magic of cinema. So this is my ranking, slightly different from Grant's, but you shouldn't be surprised that these are similar-ish, because we play them together, right? We play the same ones together, we like, even our tastes about certain things do align.
Yeah.
So Final Lake is one of collectively our favorite games, I think.
It's fantastic. I can't say enough about it.
It is one of the most complex out of these 8 games.
Yes.
And I guess I'm just a penchant for...
a masochist, sadomasochist.
I just like whipping myself whilst reading the rules on these.
Well, we always talk about this one. We feel like we pour over the menu of, ops and special actions, and it's like... I never know what we should be doing.
The board is very big.
Yep.
You have so many choices about how and where to do what. And and the rules are a little bit more complex than the other ones.
Yes.
But when we play it, I'm always like, this is so amazing.
No, it's
and I'll just get totally dogged in a game, and I'm like, that was the best 8 hours I've ever spent in my life. Even though I got hosed.
Well, and we'll turn on, I have a mix of 1960 and 70 style of music, and we just rock it out. And
so this is going to be very hard to unsee for games in the future.
Yeah.
Pendragon, I think is my second. Then this is where my masochism comes in. This is probably the next most complex game. These are the two most complex.
It is.
I think.
And it's complex because the fighting is complex, and the retreating into the fortifications, and there's just a lot. But it makes sense historically.
But with Pendragon, and complex might not be the right word. It's very different from the other coin games.
Yeah.
The counterinsurgency is a little bit different. You don't have things like the opposition and support like you do in the other games. There's this whole economy, quite literally economy.
The little gold cubes, the booty.
Which is so cute.
Right? That's pirates. That's not what...
And some factions are trying to grow that economy and wealth. Cool, and then the barbarians come in and literally take the gold and leave. This was a really cool game. And I think part of the reason this is so high on my little ranking is because when it was first announced, I was like, oh, it's Great Britain, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's an Ancients one. I literally know almost nothing about that period because they don't teach that in schools.
Yeah.
The country's been around for a while.
Right.
And so I was like, it's so different from the other ones. And then we played it and I was like, this is amazing.
Well, I remember we played that on New Year's Day, and we started early in the morning. I think you came over at 8.
We played the whole day.
We played the entire whole day, and I think you actually left after eating. We had like a New Year's Day dinner, and I just remember thinking, that was the best New Year's Day I've ever had in my entire life.
It was, this is a really fun, a very different style game from a lot of the other ones.
Yeah.
But well worth the input on that.
And I think this is a game, you've said this, I think, the more you put into this, the more you will get out of it.
Yes.
I really think these first two, the more you put in, the more you'll get out.
Yes. My next one, Andy and Abyss. We did very recently play this.
I'd like to play this one again because
Yes.
I enjoyed it
What
a lot.
I loved about this is it's the first one in the series, so it is the most kind of... it's not streamlined.
Yeah.
Because it didn't cut anything off. Because this is the original
Yeah,
one.
it all started from there.
But
It's
as
the
such,
spring.
it has this really clean set of rules, and the factions do what they're supposed to do. They're asymmetric, and it's just really, really accessible. Considering this is a war game, and a lot of board game players might be scared off by that, I was very surprised. We've played all these other 7 ones. Having done so, this was very, very easy to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, we almost didn't look at the rule book. That's how how easy it is to pick up.
And that's because we've also played so many times of the other games. The basic concepts are the same.
But yeah, I enjoyed how easy it was to play, how quick the pace of play was.
Yeah.
And it's just nice and clean. That's just really good.
I'm frankly very surprised to see this one this high. Not that I disagree.
I am too.
Yeah, not that I disagree, but I'm just surprised.
Yeah.
I'm just, because I know we've had great plays of this one and this one to the point where I think we just want to play them again and again and again.
And I love Liberty or Death.
Yeah.
I think I'm terrible at Liberty or Death.
I don't know that I'm good either, but maybe I'm better than you.
Like, it's so fun to play. I think this one is a bit longer because there's a little bit more complexity.
Right.
So the game takes us a bit longer to play, but this game has one of the best 4-player in it, I think.
Oh, we had
this
such a
and
great...
Fire in the Lake. These two 4-player are so good.
Which ones have we played 4-player? We've played this one 4-player, this one 4-player, and this one. The others we have not played 4-player.
But yeah.
So good.
This is a really good game. And this is... I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is the most good-looking one.
Oh, the cube, yeah.
With Pendragon is a very close second.
This map is incredible.
You could frame it.
You could frame it. But the rest of them are very, very good, but this one stands apart. The map definitely stands apart.
And the little star for...
It's great.
When you have it set up, it's like...
It looks amazing. Even the dead box, he used an old newspaper, image for it, and it's just fantastic. It just immerses you into that.
It's really cool. Cuba Libre, I really enjoy this. This is an excellent place to start your coin collection if you've never played one.
Agreed.
Because it's much smaller in size and scale than the other ones.
Yeah.
It comes in a box the same size, but the map is literally half the size. I think the actual board has 15 spaces on it only.
Whereas compared to, say, Fire in the Lake, there's
twice as many.
25 spaces.
Yeah. And so your tactical choices aren't as overwhelming, so you can be quite focused on what you do. So it's an easy way to learn the system, and the rules are also very streamlined, and there's not a whole lot of extra fluff and chrome in it. It's very much similar to Andy and Abyss. It's very straightforward for a coin game rules.
Well, and even look as well, these look very, very similar.
Right. But yeah, this is an excellent one, and I like how tight it is. It's very tense. Some of the other games are tense because you're like, what should I do? This one is tense because you're like, if I move one guy, I might die.
I'm opening myself up
on a knife edge all the time, and that's really cool.
And the other thing I like about this one is it's very easy to sit there and look at the board and say, I know what I need to do next turn.
Yes.
but then everything changes. But I do like that because I feel like it's a little easier to plan.
You get less analysis paralysis.
Agreed, because it's just clear what you have to do.
Yes. Or if it's unclear, you're just like, I gotta do something.
Yeah, right.
Distant Plain, very enjoyable. It's a modern conflict. Like you said, having those very recognizable cards. I think this is the one that's, it's the most recent one, right? Yes. And as such...
Most recent as in history.
Historically. But I'm like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that. We did that thing. This one's interesting because I did learn a lot more about a conflict I thought I already knew a decent amount about.
Agreed.
Because my understanding came from the news, a lot of it. So I'm like, oh, these guys, and those are the bad guys there, and warlords over here. This kind of shows me how all these different factions interacted in a conflict that was on the other side of the world for me. So that was very interesting.
Well, and I talked about this in my part, or in our review of Andean, and enjoyed is a bad word, but the factions like the warlords, the gangsters, and the cartels, more than just the color they use, they have similar roles. And I think that's very interesting. The government always has a similar role. They're the power.
Yeah, they're trying to quell
crush
the guerrillas and the insurgents. But those other factions, they're trying to exploit a power vacuum or take advantage of
find the weakness in the armor.
In this, and that's a really neat and very interesting type of a faction to play that a lot of war games don't present you with. Colonial Twilight, this is the 2-player. Is there a 1-player version of the bot? I don't know if there is.
Yes.
There might be. But
I have not played it.
This doesn't play more than 2.
No.
It's 2-player max. And this has, that we talked about it a little bit.
Very
it has
clever.
a different, what would you call that?
It's the eligibility
track.
Track.
You got to pick it up and see it. You also use it for the War in the South scenario for Liberty or Death.
From C3I Magazine, which was a blast. I wish they would make some more scenarios like that for the others.
Yeah.
And I know they were working on, what was the follow-up to this one called?
It was Inverio Cuba or something.
Invernet,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's an expansion, though.
Yeah, we're right. It's an expansion, but it's kind of so it's different. But that little scenario for this one was fantastic.
But that was also a 2-player scenario, and this little eligibility track...
It's so cool. It's just so cool.
It's a 2-player take on this track that's in all the other ones, and how it does it is very, very clever.
Yeah.
Again, a huge learning opportunity for me. Didn't know anything about the French-Algerian War, honestly.
And the other thing I really liked about this one, if you remember those tracks, they had I think it was the Islamabad track, and then they had the border security track.
Yes.
Really great abstracted ways of dealing with very complex issues.
Yes.
I think Brian did a fantastic job. They all have that. The Ho Chi Minh Trail, et cetera, et cetera. He just had two or three of those things in there, and I thought, those are great.
Yes.
Very well done.
I'm leaving Falling Sky down here because this is quite complex as well.
I would agree.
From the combat and how you take losses standpoint, and also I think this is the one that I had the least thematic connection with. Even though things like the Barbarian, which is like this little, it's this little bot that tags on and attacks everyone.
Yep. It just comes across the river and tries to rough you up a little bit and then run
gets hosed.
Yeah, it's very cool.
They made an expansion that makes that like a full
Ario Vistus, yep, it's a playable faction.
But it was. I remember we played it 4-player. We played it 2-player as well.
We played it 4-player once, and then we played it. I swear we played it 3-player too with just Matt.
I think we made it on that.
And then you and I played it, I believe, 2 or 3 times. And then I messed with it when I first got it.
It is still a good game.
It is very enjoyable.
But it's just the one that the rest of these I was able to either make a connection with or Pendragon. These are 2 ancient games in all these series. Pendragon had so much extra cool stuff that I was like, it's amazing.
Well, and it was really unique in many ways.
Yeah, and Falling Sky it was interesting, but I think I enjoyed the other ones just a bit more, that's all.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of my rationale for this. Again, we play these together, so Fire and the Lake's always going to be up here. I think it'd be very hard to unseat that.
You're going to have not only a very interesting historical conflict, but you're going to have to do something really fantastic. This one checks all the boxes.
It really does. It really checks a lot of boxes. The one game that I'm the most excited for of the ones that are announced, I think, is Gandhi.
I'm very excited for Gandhi.
Just and that's again what speaks to the versatility of the system. What Morgan did with Pendragon, I'm hoping that we see some very new stuff in Gandhi as well.
Yeah.
Because just the factions and what they try to do.
Well, there's a non-violent.
Yeah, and I'm like, how's that going to look in a card game?
Because you're not attacking.
I'll
you're
be
not.
so interested to see how that plays out, and I think there's just so much opportunity in that one to have a totally different type of game.
And we have interviews on Gandhi, All Bridges Burning, and People Power on our blog.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, go read those. They're very informative. I'm looking forward to all three of those, but Gandhi I think the most. And then All Bridges Burning looks really good as well.
It does. But there's a lot of card spoilers and things, so we know a lot of what's going on.
We've done some card spoilers for both that and People Power, and I've enjoyed doing those with the designers. So
yeah, this list is going to have an extra 3 games on it.
So we'll have to do this again next year. And that's why I was like, we got Andy to miss about 2 months ago. And I'm like, man, we got to play this. We got to do this video so that we can do it before the other 3 come out. Because then it's going to totally change.
Yeah, well, it'll be a snowball and we'll never get it done. But so that's kind of a little bit of discussion about the coin games, what we like from them, and why. So bugging me about which one's the best one.
And the system is really great. I think the system does a lot of things really well, but what it really does is it creates a bridge between your traditional Euro game, Euro mechanic style board games, with the colorful bits and the
area control,
and it merges it with historic conflict, counterinsurgency, simulation, and it's just very well done. This is a bridge between those 2 genres, and I think they've done a fantastic job with them.
I'm always amazed every time I play one of these, doesn't matter which one it is, of the asymmetry of the factions and how everyone's got a chance and it all works well. I every time we play one of these, my mind is always like blown. I'm like, that's such a good game system from Valco originally, and game design to keep that balance in all of these titles.
Well, and the other thing you said, the asymmetry, but man, you could play these games probably 30 times a piece and try to play all the different factions, and it's like you're learning a new game every time.
Yeah.
Which that's hard to do as well. A lot of 2-player war games, it's like you play the Germans, I play the Americans, we switch it up. This, you can play all 4 different factions or 3 different factions, and it's just...
You have a totally different game
it's a totally different experience. And it's also totally different 2-player versus 3-player versus 4-player. It's a completely different experience.
So let us know in the comments what your favorite coin game is and why, and argue amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
Because I'm always fascinated to hear which ones you guys think are the best, which ones, or if you think our list is hot garbage, because that's what this is about, right? Have fun, here's my opinion.
And the reality of these games, it's all about your opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that ours are as different as they are, but they had some similarity, which, these top 3 were my top 3. You just slip this one in, and I think after a couple, I think a couple more plays, and this one may go higher on my list. I liked it, I really did. So anyway, we could talk forever.
So yes, coin games from GMT. If you've not played any of them, what are you doing? Go and buy one. Get Andy and Abyss to start with, or Cuba Libre. These are 2 really good starting points. But if you're not interested, pick one that's got a good theme that
you'll enjoy it.
You'll enjoy it.
And you'll be able to play it. They're all playable.
And get as many people together as can play a game.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
The more players you got, the better your game experience is going to be. Because you get so much more interaction within factions.
The way it's intended.
Yeah.
when you're arguing over, no, I don't want you to take that resource. That's when the game is awesome.
Yeah, there's nothing like when the
that's
NBA
great.
just comes and takes the VC bases away, and you're just like,
You can't do that. You can't do that.
and the VC player's like, what is wrong with you?
Or the Arvin player is like, I want that patronage. It's the worst. Just the worst.
Nothing better than that. And that's why these games are so great, because you're fighting a fight not only with the enemy, but with
yourselves.
friends as well.
With your friends. Yeah.
So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Here's a look at the coin games and, kind of our favorites, things like that. And give us your opinions. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We've been theplayers8.com.